Hello, Concord Junior High. This is Mr. Rock, and I'm so glad that you are watching this video. You are going to learn a lot about slope. On a graph, slope is the direction and steepness of a line. It's calculated as the change in y over the change in x. At every point for linear equations, the slope is constant. And for nonlinear equations, the slope can change at each point. There is only one way to read a graph, and that is from left to right. And what I have here on the screen is a graph, and I'm going to show you what slope looks like. I'm going to start my runner here. My runner is going to start going up the graph, and as she goes, it's hard work, and she says, puff, puff, positive, puff, puff, positive, puff, puff, positive. So when you have a line that goes up like this, we say that that is a positive slope. Now she's going to run down the graph, and she says, nice, negative, nice, negative, nice, negative, nice, negative. So as she runs down the graph, she says nice, negative. And when you have a line that goes down like this, that's called a negative slope. Next, she's going to run on a flat surface, and as she runs, she's going to say, this is zero fun. This is zero fun. This is zero fun. What we have here is a line with a zero slope. It's flat. It's not going up. It's not going down. It's just flat. Then, as my runner is running, she falls down a hole, and she yells, undefined. This part of the graph shows a vertical line, and a vertical line has a slope that's undefined. So let's review one more time what slope looks like. If you have a line that goes up, we say that's a positive slope. If you have a line that goes down, that's a negative slope. If you have a horizontal line, we say that's a zero slope. And if you have a vertical line, we say that slope is undefined. So that's what slope looks like. First thing I'd like to show you is how to calculate the slope from a graph. And here is my graph. And as I read this graph going left to right, I see that the graph is a nice negative. So I know that the graph is going to have a negative slope. So part of my answer is negative. To calculate the slope, you pick 2 points that are on the graph. And I'm just going to pick these 2 points right here that have already been chosen for me. These blue dots that I'm changing into green. And once you have chosen those 2 points, you make a right triangle. The hypotenuse is going to be part of the line. And all you have to do is count. How long is each side of the triangle? Well, let's see. The y part is 1, 2, 3, and the x part is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope, which is delta y over delta x, this is a Greek letter right here. It's a triangle, but it's also a Greek letter. It's called delta. And this is the symbol that we usually use to show change in mathematics. Okay, so this is delta y over delta x. All right, so the change in y is 3, and the change in x is 4. Okay, and that's going to be negative, since it's a nice negative. Now, what would happen if we would pick two different points? Would we get a different answer? So let's pick two different points. I'm going to pick those points there. They're on the line. And I'm going to make a right triangle. Then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So for the red triangle, I have delta y, which is 9. I'm going to write it over here. And I have delta x, which is 12, and this is going to be negative. And when I reduce that fraction, I still get negative 3/4. Okay, so it doesn't matter which 2 points I pick. I will get the same answer at the end. Okay, and if you remember at the beginning of the video, I said that slope is constant for a line. That means the rate of change is going to be the same at every point. So when you go to calculate the slope, that's why you can pick any 2 points and you'll still get the right answer. So that's how you calculate slope from a graph. The next thing I'd like to show you is how to calculate slope from two ordered pairs. So the two ordered pairs usually look like this. They look like x1, y1, and x2, y2. This is my first ordered pair right here. That's why we say x1, y1. And this is my second ordered pair right here. This is why we say x2, y2. And these little numbers that you see, those are not exponents. Those are called subscripts. And the reason we use subscripts is so we can differentiate between the first x and the second x, the first y and the second y. Now here is one of the most important math formulas there is. And this is the formula that's used to calculate slope. The letter that we use for slope in algebra is M. I know you would expect it to start with an S, but it's M. And this is the formula. Very important. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the formula for slope. And this is something that you should memorize. You're going to see it in every math class that you take from now on. And you're going to see this many times throughout this year in algebra. So here's an example of how to calculate slope. Let's say that I have two ordered pairs. Let's say that I have 17, 12, and -4, -10. Okay, I just made up those numbers. All right, so what we're going to do first is we are going to label. It's always a good idea to label. This is going to be x1, y1. This is going to be x2, y2. See, I label each coordinate. Then the next thing to do is to write down the formula. So we're going to have m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now all we have to do is fill in the numbers. So I write down m, y2 is right here. Sorry, y2 is right here. That is negative 10 minus y1 is right here. That's 12 over x2. x2 is right here. That's negative 4 minus x1 is right here. That is 17. Then all I have to do is simplify. Negative 10 minus 12 is negative 22. Negative 4 minus 17 is negative 21. Negative 22 divided by negative 21 is positive 22 over positive 21. Because when you're multiplying, dividing, two negatives make a positive. Okay, so this is the slope right here. 22 over 21. What does that mean? That means to get from one point to another on this graph, that means I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up 22 and I'm going to go over 21. So here's another example of how to calculate slope, but this time we're going to calculate a missing coordinate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my formula for slope. Let's see, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, oh, I might want to label my ordered pairs up here with, this is x1, y1, x2, y2, and this is my slope, m. So now all I have to do is put in the numbers. M is 3. Let's see, y2 is negative 4. y1 is 5. x2 is 3. x1 is question mark. Okay, we can solve this for question mark, no problem. All right, so I have 3 equals, let's see, negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9 over 3 minus question mark. How am I going to solve this? Oh, let's see. I can multiply, I guess, both sides by the denominator. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 minus question mark. I'm going to need more room. So I'm going to put some parentheses around that. And 3 minus question mark. Let's see, on the left-hand side, I have to use the distributive property. So I get 3 times 3, which is 9, minus, then I have 3 times question mark, which is 3 question mark, equals, let's see, we're lucky because these two guys divide each other out, makes 1. So that's going to be negative 9. Let's see, I'm going to minus 9 from both sides. And I get negative 3 question mark equals negative 18. Divide both sides by negative 3, and I get question mark equals 6. Okay, so this is an example of calculating a coordinate. And I know that these problems come up in geometry a lot because I used to teach geometry. And we would have these problems all the time, especially at the beginning of the school year. So one question that I get a lot is, Mr. Rock, why is a vertical line, why is the slope undefined? Well, I thought that I would show you with an example. This right here is the graph x equals 2. Okay, this line right here is vertical. So let's go ahead and calculate the slope. Let's pick 2 points on the line. Let's see, let's pick this one, and let's pick this one. This point right here, this point is 2, 2, and this point right here is 2, 1. All right, so let's go ahead and I guess we have to label. Gosh, I don't know if I have enough room, but I'll try. We'll say this is x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. And I guess we should write down the formula. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so let's fill in the numbers. Let's see what happens. See, y2 is 1. y1 is 2. That's confusing. x2 is 2. x1 is 2. So I'm going to continue my work right up here. And 1 minus 2 is negative 1. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So that's the reason why the slope is undefined. Is if you have 0 in the denominator of a fraction, that number is undefined because it doesn't make sense. And the reason it doesn't make sense is because a fraction means the number of parts out of a whole. How can you have some numerical parts like 1 or negative? Well, we'll keep it positive, like 1 out of 0. It doesn't make sense. But we can talk more about that in class. But the reason it's undefined is because the bottom will equal 0. That's for a vertical line. Okay, that's the end of the video. I hope you learned a lot about slope, including how to calculate slope from a graph, and how to calculate slope from 2 ordered pairs, and how to calculate the unknown coordinate when given the slope in 2 ordered pairs. And I hope you know why the slope is undefined for lines that are vertical. I hope you learned all those things. Good luck with your assignment. Bye.